In this video, we're going to be showcasing Bamboo's PM Central, specifically designated for end users. What we're going to be focusing on is, as a user or a team member within a project within PM Central, we're going to be focusing on some of the key features and benefits that the project entails. Now, what I've done is I've landed on the Project Home tab. This would be where a team member would land if they were to click on a project. Also, a project manager would be routed to the same exact area. Now, as we can see on this particular page, we have objectives, announcements. If there's any tasks due this week, they'd be listed here as well. We also have a calendar that can show us some upcoming meetings and events. Now, in addition to this, we can also see other items that we can add to the calendar. In this case, I've done just that by adding issues, risks, and tasks. This way the team members or the project managers can see what's going on from a monthly standpoint. Now, there's a number of different areas within the project itself that does allow for quite a bit of flexibility. You know, I can change the view from this month to next month, the week, day, month, quarter, and year. Those are all flexible to change out the display for the user that wishes to see that content. Now, on the bottom right there, we have a frequent access location of the documentation that's going to be added to the project. Now, you can set up various folders and content related to, similar items that you would find within a SharePoint document library, such as check-in, check-out, workflows, etc. And we're going to go into a lot more detail about that a little later within this video, where we actually discuss some of the document management section. There's a tab we'll get to within the project. We're going to go ahead and continue on. Now, you do have the ability to send an email to the project team that is going to be a part of this particular project. What it'll do is take all the team members that are listed here and open them up into an email editor. From here, we can go ahead and send our message. We don't have to leave the project site within SharePoint and direct ourselves out into Microsoft Outlook or Lotus and then write the mail message there. We're saving a little bit of time by copying, pasting some of the information in regards to the team members, and then simply flipping back and forth between the applications. The back of the top of the page here, we can see we have some KPIs, or these key performance indicators, that let us know how the project is moving through the life cycle. And these are going to be based on issues, risks, schedules, and finally your budget. Your budgeting for the actual project itself. Now, below that, we have My Projects. Now, this is where some of the different features within PM Central start to shine. Since I'm logged in with my user ID, I'm the project manager or project owner of other projects, such as the ones listed here. I'm not the project manager of Project Red. Now, there's a different user that is the owner of that particular project. However, from within any of the projects, I'd be able to see my projects that I'm the manager of, in addition to their percent complete and the KPIs that revolve around their content. Now, these KPIs that have been set up are based on a green, yellow, and red system. They also can be configured based on different metric thresholds for what's triggering the green, yellow, and red indicators. So that's completely flexible between the projects and also between the lists that they're utilized for. Let's continue forward and take a look at the Overview tab within the project. This starts us off with the project milestones, simply a filtered view of all the milestones that were captured within the schedule of the project itself. Below that, we have the project timeline Gantt. This gives us a progression bar of a Gantt chart, letting us know where the start and stop endpoints are of the project and where the current progression is currently sitting. Just below that, we have our project status report. This will give us a weekly update so that the team members can see what's going on for this particular week. If you had multiple project status reports, you could see prior weeks, current week accomplishments, and obviously what was planned for the following upcoming weeks. The next area is going to be the task status report. This would be a key area where, if you are a team member in regards to being a part of a project, you could navigate over into this area to update the content that you might be responsible for. So if I needed to update the percent complete or the status, I could simply edit one of those items that I'm working with to update where I stand with that particular task item. Below that, we can see there's an option for the team members to submit a change request. This would be submitted and then alerted to the program manager or the project manager that a change request has been submitted and it needs to be approved or rejected for further progression. Just below that, we have the ability to capture lessons learned. These are going to be, any challenges or hurdles that you encounter within a project. They can be documented here and then always reviewed back at a later time. The task summary. Clearly this is a chart, a graphical display of the various tasks within the project itself. Now this not only gives us a quick graphical chart of just those items, it also gives us the percentage of the tasks for the item as a whole. Now we do have quite a bit of flexibility within the charts, within the solution. If you're not a fan of the color coding that have been provided as the template out of the box, you can always change this. You have a full color palette spectrum to choose from. If you'd prefer a bar chart or a line chart, those are always options to change out as well. So here again, quite a bit of flexibility, and you can always click on the charts themselves to take you directly out to the data source that makes up the chart. Okay. All right, moving forward, let's go ahead and transition over to the Summary tab. Now the Summary tab is rather unique as it's used some of the security trimming features within SharePoint and also some other functionality behind the scenes within PM Central from Bamboo, is that it's going to be providing different data based on the user ID that's currently logged in. So with my user ID, I have 3 tasks assigned to me, 4 active issues, and then 3 active risks. And I can see the details in that just below in these sub-tabs. Now, if I were to log in as someone else, let's say Mary, Jim, Tom, those are the other team members, for example, the metrics up here for those numerical figures would be changed, would be different. The individual that would be logged in would have different responsibilities and assignments for this particular project. So they wouldn't see the assignments specifically that were assigned to me. And furthermore, that user or myself, we could come down and edit the items that we need to work on directly from this area. I don't need to leave this page, go over to either the tasks or the issues and risks tab to make and change those updates. I can do that directly from within the Summary tab as I found that information. All right, let's go ahead and move forward and take a look at the Tasks tab, or more commonly called the Schedule. Here we can see obviously the tasks laid out in a familiar style Gantt chart. What we're looking at here is some of the information for the various tasks, who they're assigned to, the percent complete. And there's actually about 30 different columns of fields that can be utilized based on the template that we've provided out of the box. These are the common ones that we use. Now if you want to change that view, you simply can just edit the web part and pull in more fields based on our availability to push them into the view. So very flexible and easy to do that. Now off to the right there you get the graphical Gantt chart based on the different progressions and indicators of percent completes on the various tasks. You can also see there's a couple different milestones that have been keyed into this particular schedule as well. Just below the Task tab there are several sub-tabs. This gives us a better detailed view of some of the other items that are going to be tracked from a task standpoint, such as costs, tracking, scheduling, and then there's 3 different baselines that can be captured within this specific view if you're looking to determine if the project merits cost, scope, or scheduling changes, if it deviates from the current activities. So you can always go into those other tabs and run some other reports to take a look at the information. We'll move forward and take a look at the Issues and Risks tab. This particular tab is divided up in sort of 50-50 in regards to issues being the first presented display, where we're seeing the active issues that are a part of this particular project, and then a graphical chart, simply a pie chart, of those items based on their status. So we have 4 that are active, 1 that's deferred, and then we have 1 that's closed. Now, our risks are going to be basically the page layout is very similar, where we have the active risks at the top half of the page. Those are the 3 items. And then we have a risk chart at the bottom that's going to outline each item of the project that has a risk exposure. Now, over here on the left, you have this green quadrant of blocks. And if your risks fall in these quadrants, more often than not, it's going to be a lower risk, and it's not really going to impede the future progression of the project itself. Whereas if you have a risk that falls in the red quadrants of the chart, those are going to be something you want to address more of an urgent nature. The risks chart here basically is going to prioritize any risks that have been created within the project, and then that way it allows you to address them immediately. All right, let's move forward and take a look at our Document Management tab. Now within this tab you have the ability to create various folder structures and upload file and content in regards to documentation about the actual project itself. Now in doing so you still retain all of the great functionalities that you would see within a document library, such as check-in, check-out, integrated workflows, there's alerts, the ability to also set granular permissions. So those features are always going to be available to you within your document management section. Finally, we have our discussions thread within the project itself. This is going to be a great way to collaborate other content about the project that may not fall under an issue or risk. Here we can create a dialogue between the team member, the project manager, and other users that might be a part of the project to discuss what's going on as far as concerns about the project, or maybe there's questions about the project. So the key thing here is a knowledge sharing aspect of the project that the team members can go back and forth. They'll be alerted of the fact of certain items that are coming through within the discussions, so that they'll be aware of the fact from an email standpoint that a discussion has been generated and replied to. Now last and least but not before we close out this video series, I do want to mention that the tasks, issues, and risks, let me get back there real quick, the tasks, issues, and risks, these two tabs here, and the content that's being provided on them, there are alerts that are set up out of the box within the template so that those team members are automatically going to receive reminders 3 days before those items are due, and then if those items are overdue, they're going to get a daily reminder. So that alert notification is pre-configured out of the box, ready to go, and it's as soon as you add a team member to a project, they're going to start receiving those alerts. And there's other alerts that you can be created, but I did want to mention those that are ready to go out of the box. So that was a quick video short on the project site within PM Central. If you're interested in more, we do have some other video series that would be information rich about the top level site, which is a little bit more geared towards your executives and possibly administrators of PM Central. So thanks for watching and have a great day.